Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Hope that you're doing great today. Hope that you're doing well in this world. I know it's a really challenging time. There's just so much going on. I am a very multitasking person, although I know you can't really multitask truly, but I'm always thinking and doing and keeping busy. But just recently I've realized just the abundance of information that we have to deal with. I forget where I was today. I was sitting somewhere. Oh, I think it was in the coffee shop I went to just kind of relax. And I know it sounds strange to go to a busy coffee shop to relax, but it's kind of my way of separating myself from my work and other parts of me. And I was sitting there and I just closed my eyes for a couple of minutes and just stopped thinking about anything. It was more than meditation. It was just kind of like, stop. And I realized how little I do that. And maybe you're the same. I just am on sort of constant active mode. But anyway, I'm drinking my cup of tea this morning. Where is it? It's I don't even know where my cup of tea is. It's a green tea, and it's one of my favorites. But green tea and turmeric, those are kind of my favorites. But hope that you've got something that you love to calm you down to. And I want to chat with you today about really a wider concept, though, of self-defense, defense against negativity and against overstimulation in our lives. Now, I know when we get older, we're supposed to calm down and, relax a bit and do all these things that the world tells us we have to do. But I know so many women in their 60s and 70s who are just busy. They're just super busy. And Joan Moran is one of our bloggers who wrote an article on self-defense of the mind. We're constantly always thinking about how to protect ourselves in the world. You go outside the door and you have to be defensive when you're, out crossing the street or driving. You've got to be a defensive driver. And of course, now with all the, things going on in the world, you've got to be watchful when you're traveling. So it's a crazy place to live, but I'm happy to be here, of course, no problem. But, but Joan talks about kind of the importance, though, of letting the two sides of our brain, the creative right-hand side and the sort of logical left-hand side, kind of work together, and be constructive in navigating the impulses and the stimulation that comes to us. And by getting kind of those emotions under some kind of, I wouldn't say under control, but sort of in line, we can then live a happier and healthier life. We're not constantly reacting. We're kind of in control. So she says, discover the actual skills of mental self-defense. And how do we do this? Well, we have to actually, plan. We have to sort of work out a structure for our day and for our lives that is, balanced. Now, however, this isn't so easy, and Joan talks about this in her article, is that we're challenged all the time by situations that stimulate a negativity. If we don't have a sort of a structured response, like a plan for responding, we're going to react. So, for example, we're going to a restaurant, we ask to have a table, and 3 more people come in and are seated, and we're still standing there, and it's like, what happened? Like, in your first thought is a negative thought, like, I'm being ignored, I'm invisible, this is not fair. And then you start to overreact in your mind. And because I think most of women in our 60s are kind of respectful and we don't want to make a scene. I mean, it's like some do, and it's great, but most of us are, we just want to understand what happened and why we weren't seated. But, it's like part of that is, taking the negative thoughts that start building up and channeling them another direction. Say you're driving and someone cuts in front of you. I mean, yeah, there's several responses to that. You can get upset, you can beep your horn, you can get angry, you can make a face, or worse, or you can just try to say, oh, maybe that person's lost, or they don't know where they're going, or, maybe that person, there's a bee in the car. I don't know, I always think of strange things, but just to put a kind of a balance on the negativity. So Joan actually gives us 4 self-defense mechanisms that we can use, and they are designed to help us with our mental self-defense from negativity. And first one is just take a breath. Kind of like I did at the coffee shop. I just said, stop, take a breath. And just taking 5 or 6 really deep breaths, you'll be surprised how that neutralizes anger. or even just neutralizes that response of frustration or anger. It just take yourself, like train yourself to do that, to take a few minutes of deep breathing, and if you can go for a walk for 5 minutes, that's even better. That's the first thing. The second thing is to check your reality lens. This is the pink colored glasses or the blue or whatever. It's just are you looking at this the right way? Are you looking at the situation with clear eyes? And that's a self-defense in itself, is to not be a victim of your stereotypes, of your own responses. Because maybe that person in the car is experiencing some pain, or they're in trouble, or they've got something on their minds. I mean, yes, we need safe drivers, and that's fair to correct them if they're getting into your lane or something. But it's just a matter of having a different view of reality. And in doing that, you can soften the edges a little bit. Another thing is to reduce resistance, and don't be influenced by other people's negativity, just because that's going to hit you all the time. And I mean, I'm always surprised sometimes that I don't know about you, but whenever I go out somewhere and I see people arguing, and oftentimes I see women arguing with men the men are looking very like beaten up, and the women are yelling at them for some reason. And not that that's a stereotype, but I watch that sometimes and I think, what on earth are you yelling at each other for? Like what's the mistake here? Like what's not understood? And of course I've seen men do the same. I shouldn't even have made that comment, because it's not always women, but I do find us as women sometimes get a little bit judgmental about a situation, and I don't know whether it's just we're trying to fix everything. We want it to be better. It's just kind of our natural desire to make things good, to fix it. The next thing that Joan talks about is very, very, precious to me, and I think important to a lot of you, and that's to meditate. Just try to meditate every day for 10 minutes in the morning, in the evening. And when I say meditate, I don't mean this casually, like just sit down and, close your eyes. I mean, have a practice that is special to you, that is somehow sacred. And not that there's a religious element to it, but that there's a gratitude element to it. There's a spaciousness to it. There's something that helps you to stop trying to solve all the problems of the world. Stop trying to, build a wall around everything, and just relax. And using meditation, breath, mantra, whatever you use, to just kind of pull all the loose ends together and just, relax and work through it. And then she says, set your mental GPS. Have a compass that brings you back to center. I think that's really important, to employ these mental self-defense techniques as well as the physical ones. It's easy to protect your body in some ways by just, being careful and, wearing your purse on the right place in your body, and not putting yourself in dangerous situations. But just take it inward a little bit too, and how we mess up with our brain and overwhelm it with stimulation that is, that's harmful. It's harmful. So that's the mental health techniques that Joan recommends. I wonder if you've got anything that you do. I mean, some people do things like knit or have crafts, or they go for a walk or exercise, run. Sometimes you've got little secret ways that you calm down. Maybe it's just to put nail polish on, or I don't know, you have a calming tool. I'd love to know what you do. I actually do. I mean, I know that, many of you know about this. We've got these little cards, the Aging Beautifully cards, that we just got back in stock, by the way. They're out of stock for a long time, but we got them back. And these are kind of the meditation cards that I use every day for just thinking through these situations. And sometimes I don't take it all too seriously. That's the one to show you today. But it's important that we have something that we turn to defend our mind from negativity and stress. I think so. So maybe you can share with us what yours is. I really would appreciate it. And of course, there's techniques that we all can benefit from. So don't hesitate to share. So take care, everybody. Hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for being here, as always. Check out our website, 60andme.com. Tell a friend. Tell a friend about 60andme. We really do appreciate your support. We are getting bigger now in terms of the website and YouTube. And, if you feel like you need a little quieter place, come on over to Patreon. That's always a cool little spot. Having so much fun over there, just hanging out together and private little videos. And it just feels like a breath of fresh air there, to be honest. And if you've got a couple of dollars a month you can help us with, that's always appreciated. It's always appreciated so much. But anyway, I do hope that you get what you want here at 60andme. We always welcome your comments, your feedback, support. We want to be here for you, and we're doing everything we can to make it good. So thanks again for your support in all ways, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.